It's a terrifying scenario.
The suspect came in the open garage door, shotgun in hand.
Stunning the men as they face the barrel of a shotgun. It all unfolds on September 12, 2018, in the middle of a busy workday at an equipment supply business in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Just before 1 p.m., an armed gunman storms into an open garage.
Here's two guys that are just going about their business, doing their job. And now suddenly, out of nowhere, a guy walks in with a shotgun.
Even stranger, the gun is cloaked in a blanket.
What is his intention? Is he there to steal? Is he there to kill somebody?
This situation was extremely dangerous. Now they have to decide, what are we going to do about this?
The gunman starts yelling at the employees. One of them puts up his hands and retreats. But the other employee takes a different approach. He talks to the intruder. And then he makes a very bold move.
He goes and engages this gunman in some small talk. When the gunman is distracted, that's where he takes action.
So he grabs this gun with his bare hands, and he doesn't show any fear. He's just laser focused on trying to get that gun away from this guy. That gun could go off at any second. Someone could get shot, someone could get killed. This could go wrong in so many ways.
In a matter of a few minutes, an ordinary workday has turned into a dangerous and potentially lethal struggle.
He knew absolutely nothing about this guy. What his plan was, where he came from. You don't know what kind of crazy plans this guy has going on in his mind. And you're on the edge of your seat, and it's terrifying.
But this gunman picked the wrong person to mess with. Turns out the employee who is trying to wrangle the gun away from him knows exactly what he's doing.
I told myself a long time ago that if I have anything to do about it, I'm not going to be a victim, and I'm not going to let anybody around me be a victim.
65-year-old David Mann says from the moment the gunman walked in, he knew the intruder wasn't joking.
We just kind of looked up, dumbfounded, well, what's going on? He was probably 15 feet away. The first thing I noticed was the shotgun, how he was holding it, and I thought I could see that it was off safety, and that concerned me.
Mann's young trainee, Devin, who has only been working with him for 6 months, immediately tries to get away.
He was backing up. I think he just didn't want to antagonize the guy. He didn't want to take any chances that, he might go nuts on us.
And when the armed man demands some keys, David quickly formulates a plan.
He says, give me the keys to that truck. So I stand up and I look at him and hold my arms up, kind of in bewilderment. I say, I'm not understanding what's going on. I said, what truck are you talking about?
David is hoping to confuse the gunman. I'm
playing dumb and stupid, and all that's going on. I'm wandering over towards him. I kept watching his eyes. I saw confusion. I think I might have even registered that he was kind of panicked. He must have figured because he had a shotgun, everybody that he encountered was going to comply with whatever his demands were. And I didn't believe anything about whether he would shoot or not. I saw some uncertainty, and as soon as I was close enough, I just reached out and grabbed the gun and pointed the barrel up.
In the midst of the chaos, David Mann's trainee flees. It appears he's too scared to stick around. But then, all of a sudden, he returns.
He had gone out to go to his truck. He had had a baseball bat in the truck by the seat. Apparently the truck was locked, so he comes running back in because he remembered that he had a handgun in his lunchbox, which was in the shop.
And that's when the tense situation takes a dramatic turn.
So when he comes back, that's it. This is the pivotal moment when everything changes. He body checks him, knocks the gun out of his hands, and runs.
I just saw a blur. I did not realize that it was Devin that had hit this feller. I just know that both of us get pushed back. Then he tries to back up himself, and I jerk the gun out of his hands.
Now, the tables have turned, and the gunman makes a hasty retreat.
He was scared. He was running. He wanted to get away. When he got 50 feet away or so, he started looking over his shoulder at me.
For a moment, David considers chasing after him.
You know, I'm old and cranky. I don't want to run after the guy. Devin comes running back out with the gun and was yelling at this guy to stop or he was going to shoot. I remember telling Devin, no, you don't want to shoot him because he's not armed now. He's not dangerous. He agreed with me and turned around. He just grabbed his phone and started calling 911.
David and his trainee are shaken but safe. But who is this shotgun-wielding man? Why did he target this store? And where has he gone?
David is standing there with this guy's shotgun. And now this unarmed gunman is running down the street. We don't know where he's going.
David's trainee is already on the phone with 911, and the police arrive just minutes later.
It was an unmarked canine unit that showed up. He just happened to be right around the corner.
When the canine unit shows up, missing pieces of this puzzle begin to fall into place. It all begins when three people in a red sedan lose control of the car at a nearby intersection and get into a wild crash. But then they decide not to stick around to explain anything to the police. They just jump out of the car and make a run for it.
So there's this big crash. The three of them run. There's two guys and a female, and the police are chasing after them.
All three suspects bolt in different directions, and that's when one of them, the one who has a shotgun, sees David's garage.
So our guy, blanket shotgun guy, he sees the garage and he thinks, well, hey, there's a place I can go and get my getaway vehicle.
He happened to come towards our shop, and I think he was just looking for some way to get away because he knew he was in trouble.
As police hunt for the three suspects, including the man who David confronted in the garage, they ask the media for help.
Police are still looking for that suspect. They do have their car, though, and say they should be able to pull any fingerprints from it.
And with wide coverage of the story,
that crook walked into an Albuquerque business with the shotgun in his hand.
David is quickly hailed as a hero for bravely standing up to the gunman, the kind of hero you definitely don't want to mess with.
We have a standing joke about the incident. Don't mess with Dave. Don't ask him for his keys to his truck.
So David is naturally hailed as a hero, because when do you see a guy with nerves of steel like that to think, I'm just gonna play dumb and get that gun? And then to actually take this loaded gun out of this guy's hands, he reminds me of Clint Eastwood. To be able to think like that under those conditions, he reminds me of someone who just has the cool strategy of a true fighter.
The female suspect who fled the car accident is quickly apprehended. She identifies the man with a shotgun as 36-year-old Demetrio Trujillo, a man on the run with multiple felony convictions. Trujillo is arrested 1 month later. As for David, even as he laughs at all the jokes about what a tough guy he is, he's also well aware that there could have been a steep price to pay for his courage.
I remember thinking back that this is kind of weird. I'm not upset or scared. I mean, I guess I felt threatened, but I didn't feel like I was in danger. I just thought I've got to get the gun away from him because he could hurt somebody. I just am glad that I reacted the way I did.